call the meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Blackstock.
Here.
Knotts.
Nope, no
Trustee. No trustee Knotts. Oh, that's right.
It's a misprint.
Trustee Horn.
Here.
Trustee Boda.
Treasurer, here.
Clerk Town and Supervisor Simons.
Here.
Blair's here also.
Yes, you forgot to get
It's not on my list.
Blair.
He'll catch up.
Not your fault, Dave.
I said, well, I should have known better.
Herb, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? Sure.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, moving on to the approval of the agenda. Does anybody have any additions or deletions to the agenda at this time?
Can we discuss appointments to?
I'd like to make a addition to the, under new business. I would like to move the St. Clair request to rewrite the bike path. I'd like to change 5 and 7, because she's going to come to do a presentation, and she thought she'd be here about 8:40. So we'll move it around if that's all right with you.
Would,
Put 5 where 7 is and 7 where 5 is.
we would like to discuss appointments to the,
I'm
Parks
sorry,
Commission.
Larry, I was wondering if 5 or 1 is.
What's that, Herb?
would we like to discuss appointments to the Parks Commission? It came up a little bit late.
No, we're covered on that yet.
Covered on.
Larry, what'd you want to do, 5 to 6?
I'm making a motion that we
Yeah.
move St. Clair request
5 to 1?
to reroute the bike path down to number 7 and the board members' MTA training up to number 5. It'd probably buy us 5 minutes.
I'll support that motion.
We have a motion and support that we move on the agenda. Does everybody understand what it is?
Yep.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We make the move. Now, moving on to the approval of the minutes of November 21, 2016. They're in your packets. Does anybody have any additions or deletions to
If there
those?
are any additions, deletions, or corrections, if there are no, if there are no additions, deletions, or corrections to the minutes of November 21st, I'll make a motion to accept.
Support.
It's been moved and supported that we approve the minutes of November 21. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have public comment. Is there anybody in the audience who would like to speak on anything that's not on the agenda? Hearing none, we'll move to the consent agenda. We have the C1, October 11th, 2016 Planning Commission minutes. We have the C2, November 2016 Building Department report. So if there's no questions on those, a motion to accept the consent agenda as presented.
I'll make a
If
motion.
there's no motions, I'll make that motion to accept the consent agenda as presented.
Support.
It's been moved and supported that we accept the consent agenda as presented. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to disbursements, we have invoices of $39,127.97. We have accounts payable of $151,123.32. We have a payroll of $16,072.53. We have a direct deposit of $15,596.16. And we have EFTs payments of $36,019.42 for a total disbursement of $257,939.40.
I'll make a motion, we pay the bills in the amount of $257,939.40.
I'll support.
It's been moved and supported that we pay the bills $257,939.40. Is Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Justice, Trustee Blair,
Yes.
Trustee Blackstock,
Yes.
Trustee Horn,
Yes.
Trustee Boda,
Yes.
Clerk Town, yes, and Supervisor
Yes.
Simmons.
Motion carries. All right, next we have new business. We have a resignation from Jim Light from the St. Clair River Sewer and Water Authority. Jim has been active in the township. I was reading when I unlocked the door there, just before the meeting, 1978, he was on the board when they built this hall, along with Mr. Horn. He's been active for quite a while.
Yeah, he
I hate
was
to
in
s-
from treasurer, and he had his 30 years in.
Wow.
I'd like to make that motion that we accept his resignation with regret. He's been doing a good job.
I'll support.
Okay, it's been moved and supported that we accept the resignation of Jim Light from the St. Clair Sewer and Water Authority. Is there any further discussion? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Jim, we're going to miss you. You've been around here a long time. Done a lot of good work on that Sewer and Water Authority. I mean, he's been on there a long time with Mr. Boda.
Too long.
All right, moving on to appointment of Joanne Cottrell to the Planning Commission through April 18th, 2018.
I'll make a motion to appoint Joanne Cottrell to the planning commission through April 18th of 2018.
Support.
It's been moved and supported that we appoint Joanne Cottrell to fill the vacancy in the Planning Commission through April 18th, 2018. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Joanne, welcome. Moving on to new business number 3, the appointment of Kizran Ali to the Park Commission. And her term will be from January 1, 2017 to 11/1 of 18. And that is a elected position, and we can appoint until the next midterm election. So that's when the next midterm election will be. It'll be the first week in November.
She's on the beautification committee, and she does a good job, Larry.
Right.
And I'd like to make that motion. I've worked with her, and I'd like to make that motion.
Okay, what's that, Mr. Boda?
Are you appointing her effective
I will
July
support.
1st?
No, 1.
Or
So- So 1.
well, you said 7. You said
I got
July.
1/1 of 17.
Okay.
All right, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Yes, Blair.
And we have a second to appoint Ali to the Park Commission. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to new business 4, certificates of appreciation. We've got, we'll start off with Diane Franco. We'll come up and you can get on TV, and I know you guys aren't on that on the Park Commission. Huh?
Get up here.
You gotta get right up front.
A little closer.
This is a certificate of appreciation and recognition of Diane Franco's service to East China Charter Township. Whereas Diana Franco chose to retire from the position of Park Commissioner for the Charter Township of East China, and her term officially ended November 20th, 2016. And whereas Diana Franco has served with honor and distinction as Park Commissioner since being elected on November 6, 2008, she retained the confidence and support of East China Township electors and was re-elected to the Park Office, to the Park Commission. And now therefore be it resolved, this board, speaking on behalf of the employees and residents of East China Township, publicly go on record in expressing recognition to Diana Franco for her 8 years she gave serving the public and the citizens of East China Township. Thank you. Next, we have Wayne Phillips.
You can't hug him either.
No hug. Okay. Certificate of appreciation and recognizing Wayne Phillips' service to East China Township. Whereas Wayne Phillips chose to retire from the position of Park Commissioner to the Charter Township of East China, and his term officially ended November 20th, 2016. Whereas Wayne Phillips has served with honor and distinction as Park Commissioner since being appointed on January 18, 1999. Now therefore be it resolved, he has retained the confidence and support of the East China Township electors and was re-elected to the Park Office, the Park Commissioner, and now therefore be it resolved, this board speaking on behalf of the employees and residents of East China Township, publicly going on record in expressing recognition to Wayne Phillips for 17 years as he given service to the public and the citizens of East China Township. Thanks, Wayne. We have one other one that he's not here right now, is John Kelp, but I understand he may be going to get back on the board. So we'll just hold this and give it to John if he decides to do it. All right, next we're going to do the board members training to the MTA in Port Yorn, December the 13th. What this is it's a training session for new elected officials, which we have Clerk Town and Trustee Blair. They've showed an interest to go to this. I didn't get the exact price. Sandy's got that, but I would say we should make a motion to send them with the expenses, whatever it costs to go to the class, and the mileage.
Not necessary, so I make a motion that we send Kathy and Greg to the new board members training session of the MTA up in Port Huron on December 13th, 2016, with all necessary expenses.
Support.
Okay, it's been moved and supported that we send, well, anybody can go to this too, but I'm thinking these two want to go to it for sure. We send the two new board members to the training at the MTA in Port Yorn at the Convention Center. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Should that be, because we're spending money, should that be,
Oh, yeah, it should be a roll call, excuse me. Do a roll call on that one, will you, Greg?
Trustee Blackstock,
Yes.
Trustee Bordeaux,
Yes.
Trustee Horn,
Yes.
Trustee Blair,
Yes.
Clerk Town, yes. Supervisor Simons,
Yes. Motion carries. We send them to the training. Next is item 6, is to collect the RISA and the East China School District summer property taxes for $2 per parcel. This is what we've done for years and years and years, so this is nothing new, but we have to do it every year. So a motion to collect the summer property taxes.
I'll make that motion that we accept the RISA and the ESD summer property taxes at $2 per parcel.
Support.
Okay, we have a motion and support to collect the taxes for RISA and East China School District. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have the St. Clair's request to reroute the bike path to, in East China Township. And this is Treese? from-
Therese Hawkins, I'm
Therese
the
Hawkins
Recreation
from St. Clair.
Director for the City of St. Clair. I do have some additional maps. I don't know
If you want to look at
them,
them, welcome
if you're
to.
interested. This is the existing US Bike Route 20 map, and then this is some proposed changes. I might not have them for everyone, but you can share. So,
I've seen the trees.
okay. All right, so on behalf of the city of St. Clair, we asked to be on the East China Township agenda to give you notice of our intent to submit a request to the Michigan Department of Natural Resources to reroute the existing US Bike Route 20. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but there is a copy of the map, but the route that includes our portion or our area starts in Marine City, and the current route goes, it gets on M29 and then it turns at Bree Road. We are proposing that instead of turning at Bree Road, we would like the bike route to go, continue on M29 through downtown St. Clair. And this all came about, we were putting a grant proposal together for the DNR for our replacement of our Palmer Park Boardwalk. And there was discussion about we do not have any connecting bike paths to downtown St. Clair. So we looked at the US Bike Route 20, and there is you can make a request to MDOT to make changes to that bike route, and that's what we're doing. We're asking that it be a designated route to go, instead of turning on Bree Road, to go straight down M29. We're proposing to turn on Vine Street and then connect back up to the Bridge to Bay on Kearney Drive. So we think that this is a more direct route. It is a scenic route. It goes along the waterfront there. One of the other reasons or the things that have changed since they established this route is our harbor now has camping, so it provides overnight stay for bicyclists. And the US Bike Route 20 is designed more for the touring bicyclists, the long distance bicyclists, so they're looking for those type of amenities. That camping would be one of those. There's also shower and bathroom facilities there. We do have our Plaza Park, which is new downtown for people to stop on their bicyclists and visit. We also have a hardware store downtown. We have a laundromat, restaurant, specialty shops. We have Wi-Fi downtown. So those are the kind of things that bicyclists are looking for. We also think that it's a safe route. Along M29, there's either extended pavement or there's 4 lanes of traffic. The only time that there's 2 lanes of traffic is on Vine Street. That is a residential street. The speed limit's 25 miles per hour, so that's a safe environment for the bicyclists. So those are some of the reasons. It also is supported in, we're part of the Blue Ways Water Trail Master Plan. So any of these downtown bicycle connections are supported in our master plan. We did go to China Township also because they would be affected by this change. We presented it to their board. They did not take any action. There was discussion at the meeting that they wanted to somehow continue to be included in the bike route system. So it would be up to MDOT, but they could make one of the routes the designated route and another the alternate route. So right now we're requesting that this change be the designated route, and they would give consideration that the China Township portion could then become an alternate route. Your portion really isn't affected as much because instead of turning on Bree Road, the route would just go straight on M29 to our city limits. So your portion, you're not going to be eliminated or any way. It would just be a reroute. The other consideration that we have to take is signage, and we have been talking to the road commission, and if this is approved, we're hoping that we would get a grant that would take care of any of the signage, whether the signs have to be relocated or if new signs would be added. And then MDOT would take care of any of the mapping changes so that next time that the maps were printed, the change would be on that, and it could be updated on their online access at any time. So this basically is a notice of intent that we are going to go ahead and pursue this, and that we brought it to your attention in goodwill so that you knew what was going on. and any discussion or action taken by your board would be reflected in your minutes, and that would be submitted with the proposal.
Right
So
now, it
hopefully I'm not
goes,
giving you too much information.
So what you plan on doing, or what you're asking for, is to do away with the bike path in St. Clair, starting at Vine, taking it off of Kearney Drive. Then you want to go take it off of Fredmore Highway out to King Road, I assume,
Yes,
south on King to
St. Clair Highway.
St. Clair Highway. And you want to continue it from Bree and M29, our portion, you want to continue that up through the township to meet your
City limits.
your ones in St. Clair, but, so you want us to give up our designated, not give up, but not use our designated route that we paid several thousands of dollars for. Now you want to take and put it on the road on M29 and hope the clowns that ride that highway out there stay on the shoulder where they belong. Now, I don't know if you realize how many bike people we have. You got a bike path 75 feet away from the road, and what do? They ride the road. And
Well,
somebody's
it's-
going to get killed out there one
Yeah.
of these days.
It's a personal choice, and whether to do road share or to do a bike path, a separate bike path. A lot of the touring bicyclists prefer the shared road, but it is a personal choice. But again, the only portion that's going to change, you're going to be all the way up to Bree Road. Instead of turning on Bree Road, you're just going to go straight to our
I
city
understand,
limits.
but then they're going to be in the road. The bicyclists are going to be in the road.
They're on the road on Bree Road, there's road share on Bree,
Right,
St.
but
Clair
going up
Highway.
M29 is a little different than Bray Road. All I'm saying is they're going to be on the shore of the road. And a lot of times they wander over into the driving lanes.
that's what they built the bicycle paths for, was the bicycles, and they're using the highways. They should have a state law where if the bike path is there, they should have to use it.
I've driven into Marine City and I've had these guys sitting
Yeah.
in the middle of the southbound lane on 29. You blow the horn at them, they sit there and look at you.
Yeah, there's no shoulder there.
I'm not real
Right.
thrilled about going.
Ours shows it going on the bike trail. After
Your
Bree
portion
Road.
is mostly on the bike,
This
the
is
bridge to
bike
bay.
trail right here.
Yeah, that's
When
a
it comes
trail.
Yeah, I
down, that's
know.
right along the road, and then there's Record Road right
But
there.
they-
And that's
the
where
new
your
section,
bike
Bree
path ends,
Bree Road.
basically.
Through St. Clair, yeah.
But
That's,
this
there-
isn't East China here yet, that's on the highway.
oh, you're saying, on by Oak Street there, okay.
Oak Street South, the Bray Road, you're on the highway.
Well, we have about a quarter of a mile there.
Which has extended,
Has the
Pavement.
city got any plans to put a bike trail like they did up in Marysville and St. Clair? Or Marysville, they've got the bike trail along 29,
right.
like what we do along this portion, but St. Clair has nothing. It goes all back around Kearney.
Right. Right now, there's no plans for a designated bike path along that section.
Was there any particular reason why St. Clair put the bike path around the backside of town instead of coming through town like this is showing now? Was there a reason for that?
Well, I think it was easier to put that portion in first than to try to do the downtown location, because we're still struggling with that as to what would be the easiest way to do that. So it was a direct route, at least to connect to the next township.
Is
Correct me
St.
if
Clair
I'm
going to
wrong,
maintain that?
Right now, the bike path goes down Bree Road to St. Clair Highway over to King Road and connects into China, right?
I think, yeah,
Correct.
Hooks
at
into
Bree and
China.
Range, is that the dividing line for
It's
East
the western
China?
line of the township zigzags back and forth.
Oh, okay.
Is there any reason why you did not pick South Riverside Ave? It would waylay the concerns this board has about the traffic.
We thought Vine Street would be, again, more direct route.
No, I mean,
Oh.
South Riverside Ave, instead of being on M29, you turn on Bree and then continue
Go
on
on.
to South Riverside Drive. By the time it gets to, before the bridge across the Pine River, There is sidewalks.
They're not gonna, they're not gonna use that route. I understand what you're saying. You're looking at the hardcore bicyclists.
Yeah.
And right now,
Don't have
if
it.
they're not riding, those people are not riding on the bike path at all.
No,
They're going right down M29 all the way
Down
up to the
29,
fountain.
on the highway, on
And
the
whether they
lanes.
designate it as a side street,
They're
they'll
pink,
never take that
yeah.
side street.
And I seen a
Four
road
lanes
rage.
of traffic is more desirable to a bicycle, especially if you're in a group. You can ride two side-by-side bicyclists and take up a lane. Now, the cars can, and usually cars will go into the opposite lane, so you're more visible when you're riding bikes side by side than just one lone bicyclist. And that gives them that lane to ride their bikes. Now, a car doesn't have to go around them, but I know if I see two bicyclists, I'm probably going to go in the other lane and avoid them as much as possible. So,
I seen a road
again, it's a
rage.
road shares, it's a choice that a lot of bicyclists make to share the road.
I seen a road rage in St. Clair caused by a bicyclist. He would not get out of that lane, and he jumped over and pulled around in front of his car at the stoplight and pulled the guy out of the car.
Is
So what do you,
Is St. Clair going to still maintain their existing bike path? Or are they just gonna let it go?
The
I mean,
Bridge to Bay bike path?
The one that's currently in place, are they going to still maintain that down Kearney? Whether this is approved or not,
Yes.
they're still going
I
to
mean, that's part of the
maintain
Bridge to Bay, and yes, that's part of our
that? So
responsibility. to
families
make-
and children would still be able to ride on that path?
Yes, that won't change at all.
this is just the US bike route.
Yes.
This is published probably in the state tourist things and for bicyclists to ride around the state.
Yeah,
They
actually,
use this
US
route.
Bike Route is a national, it's across many states, and this is our portion, the east to west, which starts in Marine City, and it goes all the way to Ludington.
What's the status of the alternate route?
That would be submitted along with our request, and it would be MDOT's decision. They could make ours the alternate route and keep the existing one, the designated, or our request will be, for designated consideration. So it really is up to MDOT to make that decision.
Do you intend to request an alternate route?
We intend to request ours as the designated route.
And the Bree to King Road would be the alternate?
We would submit the minutes from the meeting that had that discussion included with the China
China.
Township.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Pardon me. Would your grant help East China with the signage, or would there be an additional cost to East China for signage?
If the grant would include any signage, there may be some signs that could be relocated or reused, and possibly some additional new signs. So we would include all of that there wouldn't be any cost to the township.
For
I
anything?
think there would only be one or two signs required if the change was made. And one sign would probably be removed if they didn't have the Bree Road as a route.
So no other costs?
No.
Thank you.
So you're just asking for us you're just telling us that you're going to apply for this, then?
Yes.
And it would look better if we were in support of it, is what you're saying?
That would be your wishes. We would, again, submit the minutes with any discussion or action taken by your board.
I got one more question. The second map you have with here, you're showing the back road going around St. Clair. Is that going to did you say that that's going to be kept as the official Bridge to Bay Trail?
It is the
Yes.
official, yes,
This is the way it is now.
yes.
Now you want to extend it up 29.
Just the US bike route. The Bridge to Bay and the US 20 bike route are two separate
The-
designated
The
bike
bike route
routes.
doesn't support
Bridge to Bay will not
families and
change.
kids.
Pardon me?
You don't think that the bike route 20 supports families and kids?
Well, it's a personal choice. I mean, there are families that I'm sure bicycle together and tour, but it is more for the long-distance bicyclists, whether that's individuals or groups.
Is that
or-
consistent with the objective of the federal government with designated Bike Route 20, as I understand it, goes to the west, I mean, to California,
Right here.
it goes to, Michigan's portion stops at Ludington, but then it goes across the lake and continues on to Washington State.
Yeah, it is a national trail that crosses over states. I didn't include any other portions, but
So actually, Bike Route 20 is separate from the Bridge to Bay Trail.
yes, Bridge to Bay is a county effort.
So we would be supporting you don't have to go to the federal government with this change?
No,
State can designate their own.
yes.
I got one more question. I noticed on your map here, the first map, where it shows coming down through the St. Clair down to Bray Road. Just a note on here, it says that Clinton Avenue to Palmer Street, 6,014 feet, 4 lanes. That's not 4 lanes in there. You got 2 lanes and you got a shoulder, both sides.
No, there's 4 there. It's a little short stretch there by the fly shop, Anglers.
It merges down to.
It merges there at Anglers, the 2 lanes, and it's 4 lanes be from.
Where the old
from
state
Yeah,
police
but
post,
that's south
Anglers
of, that's south
to
of
Clinton.
Anglers.
north of Angler.
Anglers,
Narrows
the
down,
shop.
narrows down south of Anglers.
Right there is where it narrows down, yeah. But it's 4 lanes north of there.
By Cargill Salt, it starts at 4 lanes, goes through town.
I don't know. I don't care for it.
But this one map here is showing the Bridge to Bay Trail stopping at St. Clair Highway. It comes all the way down, as far as I know, to Recor Road.
Again, that's the designated US bike route. So it doesn't show all of the Bridge to Bay. It wouldn't show all that on the map.
I just don't like to see them travel on that highway.
One of the comments from China Township is they thought Recor Road would be a better connection than St. Clair Highway to the Bridge to Bay. And my understanding is when this route, local bicyclists put this route together that no longer lives in the area. So,
We've
There's
actually
been
got
some
an alternate.
changes.
You can go west down Recor Road to King and then take that down
Yeah.
through China Township, or you can go here on 29 and take that north to Bree Road.
right.
Then they hook back up back there at Fredmore Highway and King. I
So
don't-
we do, just, the only other information I have is the St. Clair County Parks and Recreation Commission did approve a resolution supporting the change, and so did the St. Clair County Trails Committee. Our City of St. Clair Council also approved the request, and we are also working on getting on an agenda for the St. Clair County Road Commission. So. And I mentioned earlier, it is supported in our Blue Ways Trail Town Master Plan.
So what's the board's pleasure? Do we, yea or nay?
I move that we support the St. Clair plan.
Is that a motion?
That's a motion.
Okay. We have a second?
I'll support.
It's been moved and supported that we support the rerouting. In our township, it only affects us for what? Several hundred feet, 1,000 feet?
Bree
Takes-
Road.
Takes it down past the businesses.
Bree Road to Oak, okay. So is there any further discussion? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye.
I'd like a recall, I'd like a
Roll call,
vote.
okay. Roll call vote, please.
Bodine,
No.
Trustee Bodine?
No.
Trustee Horn?
I'm going to vote no this time because I don't like to see them travel on M29.
Trustee Blair?
No.
Trustee Blackstock?
Yes.
Clerk Town, yes.
Simon? Go ahead.
Supervisor
Yeah.
Simons?
He votes yes. So we have a 3-3.
Tie vote, it fails.
It fails.
Okay, thank you.
So, thank you, Teresa.
Mhm.
Teresa. Okay, moving on. That concludes our regular meeting. We have no announcements, but I would like to, we're going to go into closed session.
I have an announcement.
And I'm going to do announcements and member comments before we go into closed sessions. And once we come out of closed session, we're going to not conduct any more business other than adjournment. So, announcements, Mr. Town.
We have a letter from Comcast. As part of our ongoing commitment to keep you informed, we want to let you know that Comcast's right to continue carrying Fox College Sports Atlantic, Fox College Sports Central, and Fox College Sports Pacific will expire December 31, 2016.
Thank you. I have no announcements at this time, so we'll move on to member comments. Mr. Horn.
I have none tonight.
Mr. Boda.
I have none, thank you.
Mr. Town.
No.
Mr. Blackstock.
Just thanks to Diane and Wayne. We worked together for a long time, so thank you.
Ms. Blair.
No comments. Thank
And
you.
I'd like to thank Wayne and
That's
Diane
what I
and,
feel, too. Thank you, Wayne.
and Gary. And one other thing to add, we're losing Mr. Light from the Sewer and Water Authority, so anybody out there who would like to get on the Sewer and Water Authority, we're looking for another person, so.
They meet
It's
every
a-
other month, so it's not every month.
Yeah, it's every other month, it's not, I mean, it's pretty interesting to see how the water rates and all that stuff are set. So anybody out there that would like to get on that, come in the office and get a hold of me. And with that, I would like a motion to go into closed session.
Excuse me.
I'll make a motion, we go into closed session to discuss union negotiations.
Support.
Excuse me. Number 6. Did we already do that?
We did. It was Horn and Herb.
Yes.
Okay, we have a motion to go into closed session. Is there any other further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are going to go into closed session. Thanks, everybody. Have a
Thank
good
you.
winter.